Viewpoint. Last week we started a conversation with Professor Olusoji and Dejumo, and today we are going to give you the concluding part. You are going to enjoy every bit of it. So stay with us, don't go away.
Look at politics. You find somebody who is barely out of university, says he wants to be House of Reps because he's been able to, maybe with some cultism, whatever, they have some funny money. And when you ask them, there was somebody who says you want to be House of Reps, say he's a graduate. I said, write for me a few things that you can. He couldn't get one sentence grammatically right. What's one sentence grammatically right? So they have lost these values. They have, and if you are not careful, as a country, we will destroy the future of Nigeria. Because the future of Nigeria depends on the quality of the youths that you have. And I'm being very, very serious. Very, very serious. I'm too afraid of even encouraging my children to come into politics. Because when I look at their potential, my first son made a first class in artificial intelligence and robotics, University of Wales, Aberystwyth. And when I've seen things that he has achieved with the companies he's working with, the UK, where they are working like 200 years ahead of us in Nigeria. Are you getting it? Well, I remember when, when I was telling him something, I said, look, that every aircraft you're flying into has the input of myself and my team. Because he said all of these things are worked in like a network. That is what the world of AI involves. So he said, if you enter an aircraft, you already have your son's imprints on that thing. It's on this one, it's on that time. When they are, all these wars and all these missiles that are, let me be frank with you. All these wars that Iran and America are fighting. America has not put a single boot on the soil of Iran, and they're doing so much havoc. Iran has not put a single boot on the soils of the UAE, and they are targeting American assets in all those places. All those things are guided by high-tech AI, robotic systems. Those who drive them are young brains. The military does not develop those things, no. Military contracts those things out, and they deliver. They deliver. My son told me one day that when we reach a certain level in our delivery systems, he says we call our partners from India to come on board. The day I was with him and I met some of these Indians are tech wizards too. I call this one who was already something. The boy is 33, has a PhD. He has two doctorates. They are not old people, and they are the ones that will deliver the system that Boeing will use to run the aircraft. System that Airbus will use to run the aircraft. Where are the Nigerian youths?
Well, the system is not even encouraging the youth. I remember I was in UI. We had a program, and I was seconded to a project. So then we organized a program for the youth. They came up with different ideas that the government could take up, and better the lot of the society. But that's how it just ended. Some people came up with different ideas that from these children, from these youth, but then there was no encouragement. Where would the money come from to really help them?
How can we have encouragement? Mr. President, President Tinubu, did he ever sit down with any of his ministerial ministers, give me 2-3 pages of what you want to achieve in this ministry? When they nominate somebody, they just send his name to Senate, go and walk your way through and get, you see, we are not yet ready to make progress in this country. And Bumi, this country will suffer the consequences in the next 20-25 years. All these places will leave us far behind.
Yeah.
Even insecurity, we cannot tackle it.
Yeah.
Insecurity, we cannot, and we say we want people to come. We want them. Who will invest in a security-prone? I just came back from Zanzibar, Tanzania, about 3 weeks. We were running all over the place, going till midnight and go. Tiny country, 2 million people. I didn't see any uniformed police officer. And so I had to call one of our guys. Don't you have police? Don't you have crime? He said, okay, sorry, sir. We went to the capital city. It's called the Stone Town. Went to Stone Town. Then you have to say, okay, you are looking for police officer. You see that man there in that blue shirt and playing. He says he's a police officer. He said just that he's playing close. I said, why? I said, because what they are just watching, they are just trying to stop pickpockets. So that's the only thing that can happen to you.
Oh, they're orderly.
Yes. Are you getting it? Everybody has a positive job. He said there is no way you can go into a bank and deposit money that is beyond a certain level and you think you can walk away. He said no.
All right, sir. Well, I pray for Nigerians and I pray for Nigerians.
I received the prayer too.
Let's talk about when you were chairman of Oyo Sugbe.
Yeah.
You know, there must have been some policies, that came from when you were chairman.
Yeah.
Which of these policies are still in existence? We still have some of them still in existence.
I hope, because one of my greatest achievements and fulfillment in Subeb is the fact that I was able to put in place foundation for positive delivery of education to the young ones. Because when I came to Subeb, Subeb had only 3 departments. The first department, of course, that was finance and admin, which you must have. Second department was planning, research and statistics, that is to build infrastructure. The third department was school services, just to look at teacher deployment, things like that. So, and that has been what has been on for almost 30-40 years. It started from schools board, then to SPEP, to all of this. I said, where is monitoring and evaluation? How do you continue to monitor what we are doing here? Nothing. So I said we must create a department for monitoring and evaluation. In this day of high IT, we don't have any ICT. How do we deliver? How do you change the curriculum of these children to reflect modern day realities? So I went to Governor Kala. God bless him. I said, look, I want to transform this from 3 departments to 5, at least for now. If you require more money, more politics, because people don't even work. I want who want to. Those who want to work are the ones who want to enjoy, who want the rewards of your hard work. As soon as I said I'm creating 2 additional departments, people in the Ministry of Education became happy. We will still have directors now. Being sent to Subeb. And I started, no, I will not allow that. The people that are here, that are promotable, let's also promote them too and become directors. We are going to do this work together. I had my vision for putting those 2. So, and those 2 departments I created gave me the platform to actually advance education. Because Yoruba will say, Tabata ato. Tabato uderode. You can't target an animal and fire a shot at it and not pursue that. If the animal is injured, the animal will fall somewhere, weak, unable to go. Then you can pick it up and you go home with it as a prize. But you can't fire the animal and you don't pursue it. The animal becomes food for maggots. So when we're doing so much and we cannot look back and say, look, let's go back to this school. What is the product? What is the output of these teachers? We are training these teachers. What have they delivered? We must find a way of evaluating them. It was not easy to run it down you know, the minds of established bureaucracy. Yes.
Yeah.
Then I said, we must go by IT. We have to run on technology. And with the earlier we start, the better. So I hope that is sustained. Because if it is sustained, it will help. And we'll come to that later.
All right, sir. So if called back today, venture, you are called back to probably see to the running of the board, what will you do differently?
No,
Maybe
see,
if you just remember that, when I was there, maybe I should have done this or done that.
no, you see, one thing that needs to be done. It's not even a question, because even the person that was there, when he was appointed, he came to me before he even took up the job. Two people came to me when they were appointed to chair of civil. Dr. Nuri Adeno came here.
Okay.
Professor Modupe Adelabu was appointed Subeb chair in Ekiti.
Okay.
From there, she became deputy governor to Governor Fayemi. She's currently been appointed by President Tinubu to be chairman of, I think, NECO or something like that. When she was made chair of Subeb, she came here to meet me in my house. And I said to her that what we need is, as a state, let us break our iron link with the federal government on our curriculum. They will say, oh, this is the national curriculum, and this is what you have to teach. Turn the national curriculum to the minimum. Let us add our own to it that will take these children to higher levels. Let us start teaching IT right from primary school. By the time they are in primary 4, let us be putting coding into their curriculum.
What about the practical aspect?
That's what I'm saying. We can. Because let me tell you something, Bumi. You cannot sit down and think manna will come from heaven. But if I get up and I go to MTN,
Okay.
I knock on their door. I'm so. In my school, I want to start practical IT delivery. I want to run software. I want to run this. Come and open a small IT lab for me. And we'll start with about 6-7 schools. They will fund it. I meet a lot of these companies. They will say nobody has approached us. And they have money for CSR. And every year they have a budget to plug in CSR into it. But when they don't knock on their door, when I was Chairman Subeb, I went to Microsoft. I didn't even go to Microsoft, where people saw the way I was, eager to make things move. Somebody brought the general man, I think, director East and West Africa, one white man. Somebody brought him to me. And as soon as I saw what was in store, I said, look, let's leave the office. I brought him to my house here. I said, I don't want distraction. Let us sit down and talk. That was why we were trying to start a Microsoft Academy. And I think they gave us maybe about 100 laptops or something like that. I don't know what happened to those laptops. What we wanted to do in Microsoft Academy was, we were already looking at zones in Ibadan, in Oyo, in Ogbomoso, so that in each zone we will have about 50 academies. Each laptop will have everything that is required to run an IT program. And we wanted, I think, 50 or so per zone, so that we will rotate it, so that these children, we will be building many Bill Gates from them. That was my idea of Microsoft Academy. And Microsoft was the one that was funding it. They're not providing everything. All they just wanted us to do was provide the space and the pupils. So there are agencies that are ready. World Bank can do it. You need to knock on their door with a solid program. And let me tell you something. Many of those things You don't even have people on ground that can help you write those proposals. You will need to go out. When I was doing some of the things I did, I went outside of your state to look for people that I know. And interestingly, the people that helped me most as technocrats were the people that were working with Aregbesola. He was governor of Osun. And I was sitting at the airport, and I was talking to Governor Aregbesola. I said, he was sitting there. I said, Excellency, you are not doing much in your state. So you have this person, this person. If you know much what they are doing for me in Oyo State, and yet you are their employer. He said, you know, they are very brilliant people, but you see, you just don't have the resources. I look at him, but this government has missed it. Are you getting it? I said, this government has missed it. Resources now. When you have the brains, you let those people lead you to the resources.
Exactly.
They will lead you. But when you don't encourage them, when all they are waiting for is the allocation that you want to share, you know. They came to me in Oyo State. They led me to resources. These same people that were working, paid staff, political appointees of Osun State, who are now working for me and directing me to areas where they had already made contact for sure, but because there was no encouragement. But I had called Governor Akala when I chancellor. I said, Excellency, you give me free hand to run here. If it fails, blame me, crucify me. If it succeeds, carry the glory. That was our agreement. So that I was able to do all those things I achieved. You need to take risks. I'm ready to risk your job. So that bad fail, go now. And you say, I tried it, but unfortunately it failed. That's why I had to leave this office. Somebody else will call you now.
All right, sir. Now, Prof, as a professor of animal science at the Premier University, you know, look at our current food security, the crisis, economic crisis, others, farmers clashes here and there, and the hardship that we are experiencing. What do you have to say to this? What can we do?
We are the architect of our failure. Honestly. You see, when you fail to plan ahead, when Awolowo was not a magician, when he set up Fashola farms in those days, they set all these farm settlements. When they set up Agege Dairy Farm, when they set up Iwo Road Dairy, when they set up the oil palm project in Akpoje, in Ogun State, they were not fools. They were thinking ahead. When we were students, undergraduate students, animal science, we would take excursion to Agege Dairy Farm. We would see how they were milking and everything. As undergraduate students, they will carry us to Kingsway. They will put white hat on us. Kingsway, we will be in Dubai. We will be learning how to make sausages. We are doing sausages in those days, using pig skin to wrap all those. Kingsway had all those machines. You know, it's owned by USC. No, they kill you Kingsway. They turn it to something else again. We will go to Iwo Road here and start milking. They carried us by bus, took us straight to Shika in Zaria to see how you run ranches, which was part of the practical training we had as students. Can you carry any child from here to Shika without them being abducted, kidnapped? But that is not it. The fact is, when we had Iwo Dairy at Agege, instead of trying to find how you will improve, bring in technology, so that you will get more from these cows, they were selling off the equipment, turning Agege into housing estate, Iwo Road, Kolapo Estate. So they had about 500 acres of land. You cannot have a dairy farm in the middle of a town. Who says you cannot? Enoba, Ladoja was governor. I took one of my, a professor who taught me, he's dead too now, because almost all the professors who taught me, you know, I've died. But he was alive, Professor Ngeri. I took it to Governor Roger. The man said, look, let me help you revive your oral dairy. I'll bring in partners from America, from Germany. We'll bring in the stock. Do you know that when they started the dairy farm, the German government gave us about 50 cows, flown down in aircraft, air condition, they came. Those cows were supposed to be foundation stock. A foundation stock, if you sell one cow for 100,000 naira, a foundation cow will sell for 5 million. Because what that cow has, the offspring that will come out of it.
Okay.
Because I'll give you an example. There's a cow I saw in Israel. Our own cow in Nigeria today, you go and milk it, you're able to fill 500 ml, one sachet, pure water sachet. Yeah. You'll get equivalent of that from one cow in Nigeria at one milking. I saw a cow bred from Syria, taken to Israel. Milk it, you will get, and I'm not exaggerating, you will get minimum 200 for that pure water sachet from that single cow.
What are we doing wrong?
Go to it again. The one in Nigeria, you get one. That single cow, you will get 200 of it, and they will milk it twice in a day. So that farm only had about 20 of such cows, and they had a milk factory beside it. So, but that cow, that Syrian cow, when I saw it, the room they gave it is almost about half the size of this room, very large. They will come, they will just exercise it a bit, take it back to clean all the feces. And the milk glands were like small goats in size. You know, like each milk gland was almost like half a bag of rice. And there are 4. Now, that cow, do you think that Agricultural Research Institute, do you think that institute will sell that cow?
Well, you know, time is not always a friend on the program. We have to put a pause to the program for today. We'll bring you the concluding parts of the program. And don't forget, Professor Adejumo is still going to be a guest. So don't go away. Join us same time next week for the concluding part of the program.
No put your ears, make we talk. Time don't reach to rearrange the stars to give una small wisdom. Sounds mighty fresh now, but you know own, I beg no be so. Before una go talk, say our smile no reach. Make una think I'm twice so.
Ever heard of Colgate, the #1 oral care brand in the world?
Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection unlocks 24 hours cavity defense. The formula boost with calcium for lifelong smiles.
Mom, it's a time to brush. No more cover mouth. Because Colgate, that's who do yaga with your smile.
Colgate for 24 hours maximum cavity protection.
gbàgede òṣèlú dé.
Yorùbá bọ̀ wọ́n ní dídé là á tàkùtò bọ́mọdé bá tàkùtò wọn á ní kó dé bàgbàlagbà bá tàkùtò wọn á ní kó dé tọ́ gbàgede òṣèlú tún ti dé gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìṣe rẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ sátidé ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí o gbogbo wa la mọ̀ pé ẹ̀ka mẹ́ta ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ lẹ́ka ìṣèjọba pín sí lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà ẹ̀ka ìjọba àpapọ̀ tìpínlẹ̀ tó fi mọ́ tìjọba ìbílẹ̀ ta nígbàgbọ́ pé àwọn ló súnmọ́ àwọn aráàlú jùlọ pàápàá jùlọ àwọn tó wà lẹ́sẹ̀ kùkú ẹ gbọ́ kí gan lójúṣe ẹ̀ka ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ yìí o báwo ni wọ́n ṣe súnmọ́ àwọn aráàlú sí lórí ètò gbàgede òṣèlú lọ́jọ́ sátidé ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ máa gbọ́ wìrìwìrì lẹ́nu àlejò wa tí ń ṣe ìkan olóṣèlú alága ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ Ẹgbẹ́dá tó tún ṣe alága ẹgbẹ́ àwọn alága ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà AGON ẹ̀ka tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ọ̀nàrẹ́bù Oyèdélé Síkírù Sàndà ẹni tí ìwọ ètò gbàgede òṣèlú gbé lọ́sẹ̀ yìí kí ni ìbáṣepọ̀ tó yẹ kó wà láàrin àwọn alága ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ẹni tó jẹ́ gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ táwọn aráàlú tó dìbò yàn wọ́n yóò ṣe rí tí wọ́n ṣe nínú èrè ìṣèjọba àwarawa kí lohun tó jẹ́ ojúṣe ẹgbẹ́ AGON sọ̀rọ̀ ìdàgbàsókè àwọn ìgbèríko wa gbogbo ẹ̀yẹn ṣáà ti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa tó bá ti da aago 10 àárọ̀ sáago 12 ọ̀sán ọjọ́ sátidé lólúyọ̀lé 98.5 FM òkè ògùn 96.3 FM ajílété 92.1 FM àti lórí ẹ̀rọ tẹlifíṣàn iléeṣẹ́ wa BCOS tó fi mọ́ àwọn ìkànnì ẹ̀rọ ayélujára iléeṣẹ́ wa gbogbo pẹ̀lú àlejò wa ọ̀nàrẹ́bù Síkírù Sàndà alága ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ Ẹgbẹ́dá tó tún ṣe alága ẹgbẹ́ AGON nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ lórí pèrègùn ètò tó ti dìgì àlọ́yè.
You see this one that you bring, those are the things we will use to do sacrifice.
Me ajahe koja.
I'm not saying you won't make God punish you. Give me my blockers. Come on, my blockers, give me.
I am his girlfriend. Who the hell are you?
Bow for the boys.